Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. We are here live at Monza. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Alessandro Dalladone with Marco Barbadera in the production booth, and you're here watching Apex Racing TV.
We are in beautiful Monza, Austin, for round number 10 of the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. It's definitely a very interesting track where we'll see plenty of drafting going on. But first, let me say that we have a very nice appearance today. After a long time, we are really happy to see Tim Delisle back on the broadcast race with his number one. Very, very delighted. Long time we haven't seen him on the track.
Multiple season Formula 3.5 champion Tim Delisle makes his return at Monza, and here in qualifying, well, he's about to do something that he knows how to do a lot. But can he continue his dominance here in Formula 3.5 and take another pole position?
That'll be definitely very difficult because the competition, as you well know, it's very, very strong, and we have seen a lot of drivers contending for that maiden top spot for the whole season. Ben Fuller is back, but I know that also other drivers will be looking to get a very good qualifying session because, yes, it's very easy to pass with the slipstream, but I think track position is very important, especially since you have to go through that bottleneck of turn 1, the first chicane on the first lap. You don't want to start in the midfield.
Yeah, the midfield here is going to be a giant, well, you said bottleneck. It's not going to be the best starting in the midfield, especially if you're looking for that race win. The place where you're going to start is probably the first 3 rows. Anywhere else back is going to be a very hard time to make it work, as there goes Rob Bohr first time. And then here comes Tim Delisle up into the top spot.
He's showing plenty of speed, but now he's Ben Fuller getting the first position after the first flying lap. But remember, obviously, he's the second one, the one that counts the most. So we expect plenty of drivers to improve on the second flying lap and see a shuffling of these standings. But already showing the strength in the field, Ben Fuller showing plenty of speed also here at Monza. But never say never. This track is definitely very, very a playing field, let's say. Some drivers that might not be up top every time might have the chance to show themselves up in the top spots.
Indeed, and well, Monza always brings out the best in all these drivers. It's probably one of the most famous racetracks in the world. It's known as the Temple of Speed. I wouldn't call it the true Temple of Speed, as that's Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I'm not biased at all. But yeah, in the Formula world, this is definitely the Temple of Speed. A lot of high straights, a lot of heavy braking, and always some exciting racing. And well, little mix up in the strategies here with setups.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think here we might have also some medium downforce. I assume.
Yeah, Rob Bohr's running with a medium downforce ring right now, as that's Tim Delisle puts it on provisional pole at the 1:35.5. Let's see if Ben Fuller can answer back. He comes across the line and does improve, but doesn't go pole. Just missing it by 25 thousandths of a second. Edward Samborski coming across the line with a medium downforce car. Does not improve on his lap. James Pinsker currently sitting in third. Comes across the line. Does he improve? Yes, he does. So tight at the top. 1/10 separates all 3 of them.
With from Wedgwood, starting actually finishing, I think, his first flying lap. So he will have plenty of time to get it in the books and also get his second. Let's see where he puts himself on the standings. I think it's not a valid lap for him.
I don't think it was. I don't believe it was a valid lap. Paul Ilbrink, he's coming across the line. He's going to jump up into 4th place, 1/10 behind James J. Pinsker. But that top 4 is on another level right now.
Yeah, shooting this kind of track, half a second between 1st place to 5th place is quite a lot. Then in the race, it might not really show off that much with slipstream and also battles going on. But when it is gonna be a matter of raw pace, obviously you will see in the race some difference between the top 4 at the moment and all the rest of the field. But it's gonna be very, very interesting because this is one of the racetracks where you need to use your head more maybe than even just go flat out the whole race, because sometimes it's better just to concede, to give a little bit and then maybe get the position back later on without making any mistakes.
Yeah, lap 1 is definitely a big brain moment. Pretty much whenever you're side by side with somebody, you always got to use your brain around here, because you always could just set it up the inside. But is that sometimes the smartest thing to do here? Because you will have long straights after this corner, and if you make that aggressive move up the inside, the other driver can easily just get into that draft and well, get you right back there as Wedgwood comes across the line with a clean lap into 7th.
I think this wraps up qualifying as Daniel Galis is trying to set a 2nd lap time, but I think it might be short for a few seconds.
No. He's going to get it. He's going to... Oh, came across the line right as it happened, but I think he might have had that final lap invalidated because that was an immediate 8-minute move. So starting grid, Tim DeLisle makes his return to the series and return to the front of the grid as he puts it on pole by 25 thousandths of a second to Ben Fuller. I do not believe Tim and Ben have ever raced against each other in the Formula 3.5 series. So hey, we got a good race up at front. They're followed by James J. Pinsker, Paul Ilbrink, Rob Moore, Jorge Lopez, Tom Wedgwood, Edward Samborski, Theodore Burns, Josh Stewart, Adam Kahn, and Jamie Byrne in 12th place. Behind them, it's Andrea Povedano and John Owens, Benjamin Barreto, Jacob Orpslak, and Dennis Cornu in 17th, followed by Daniel Gallus, Maximilian Bowie, and Craig Lager in 20th place at the end of our grid here for today. And today's grid is got a massive SOF, and I believe we got a graphic for that. Marco, what's the SOF for today? 4.4K.
Yeah, definitely very high strength of field, small grid also, which is not bad to be fair for Monza. It's quite chaotic already. But I think we will definitely see some amazing racing, because this track provides always very interesting battles. Hopefully, the social curbs will be kind of helping this time and not killing people, because they are very, very, very dangerous. If you hit them with this kind of car, it's not gonna be easy for the driver.
Yeah, we've seen it. We've seen the bumps give some drivers some floor damage. We probably won't be seeing that here today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and it's go here at Monza. Tim DeLisle and Ben Fuller get off the line very well, followed by James A. Peter and Paul Ilbrink off the line. Everyone looking very good. I see one of the Karuma cars looking down to the inside. Tim DeLisle defending onto the inside with Ben Fuller looking onto the outside. Paul Ilbrink sending it down to the inside. Paul Ilbrink skipping across. We got the car throw 4 up on his side. Disaster at the start for Paul Ilbrink. And James J. Pinsker, he's got a braking marker inside of his wing. And that braking marker is thankfully telling other drivers to avoid and go right of him, as he is going to be struggling with that car a lot. And in second place, Jorge Lopez Exposito in second after a chaotic start off the line.
Did just happen, Austin? I really do not know what happened here. A rare mistake from Paul at the start, I think. Let's see.
No one cursed him, too. You can't blame us on that.
This time we are cursed. Let's see what.
I think it was just he was in medium downforce. Yeah, he just couldn't slow the car down, and then chaos happened. See Ben Fuller, there's Rob Bohr getting flipped over in the action.
Taking the escape road.
Oh, we got a car off. That's Delisle. Tim Delisle's off. And Maximilian Boy is off as well. And Ascari. And there's more action behind them. Orbslack and Gallus is off. There's chaos all over this track. What is happening? Okay, Ascari has killed so many people in 2 laps. What is going on here?
Did I?
Oh, same thing with Paul Ulbrich. Just no brakes into the wall.
Hasn't been there any sabotage to this driver's car in the paddock today, Austin? Because this is very, very strange.
This is chaotically strange. I think the drivers switching from high downforce in qualifying to medium downforce, they were so used to the high downforce braking. Oh, Tim's iRacing has crashed. That's what I've learned.
You hate to see that.
Yeah, that's the one that you do not want to see. But I also feel like some of these drivers were just very used to high downforce in qualifying and got too used to it and didn't didn't do a little bit of practice in medium downforce. And here is Jorge Lopez Exposito and his view of the incident from Tim Delisle. There's all the dirt off in the... Here's Tom Wedgwood. Did he have an incident?
I think he parked the car.
Ooh. Oh, he...
Yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Yeah, he's mentioned his engine cover. When did that happen? Is that the start?
Yeah, I think he was involved in the turn 1 accident. Because
there were 2 turn 1 incidents. There was the Paul Ulbrich thing, and then I think there was the carnage behind him trying just to avoid what was going on. See, the top 5, everyone just getting into a line on that inside line. And then there's Paul Ulbrich, just the brakes just didn't work. Oh, and Tom hit Rob. And it looks like that's Theodore Burns and Tom got into each other while trying to navigate through oh no.
It's interesting to see that even most of the field just elected to go through the escape road instead of even trying to make turn 1. As
and then they tried to navigate the escape road and well, you know, it's just like Monaco. You can't really fit 2 cars through Rascas, and we saw that in the Formula 2 feature race here today, if anyone was watching that, where 3 times a virtual safety car was brought out because 3 times people tried to go to the Rascas side by side.
Yeah, very interesting watch once I keep up with the previous races of the weekend in the next few days. So I take notes of that because it's going to be a very interesting watch. As it's very interesting also to watch the development between Barato and Owens for 8th position. These drivers profiting from all the other misfortunes that we had in the opening laps, moving up through the field early on. And now the French driver tries to make a move on the inside.
How many drivers do we have up 6 positions right now? Is it 4?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Now it's 5. Yeah, but just look at how many drivers have moved up this grid. Everybody except for James J. Paynes here has made an improvement in the top of this field. And speaking of James J. Paynes, let's ride on board of him as he's trying to hold off Edward Samborski in 3rd place. As Lopez and Fuller are just off on their own right now.
Indeed. Lopez doing an amazing start. Up 4 places. He got the best from that incident in turn 1. Although he was starting already at the front where the crash happened, he managed to navigate through it and stay in contact with Fuller, who got a slowdown in turn 1, but still managed to keep the car clean, and now he'll be trying to open up a gap on the Spanish driver. Pincer looks to be very, very fast, so he might be catching Lopez Esposito very soon, but still a very good start for the Spanish driver. And Samborski absolutely moved up 4 places. Not a great qualifying, but in the end it was good for him because he went out of the troubles in the opening.
Yeah, Ben Fuller avoided that. I don't know how he did, but let's watch that restart from him. So he's in the draft and then gets out of the draft, and then watch his hands. He saw that happening and he just barely avoided that.
That's definitely a very smart driving from Ben Fuller, as we saw that is interesting moment. I still don't understand how it's happening there, but thankfully he got
it. Just caught it. He caught it in the wing, and you know, I'm surprised that it's off. I feel like when he got onto the brakes, it just kind of flew forward and got unlodged from there. It's kind of like when you get. It's kind of that moment when you go into the gravel, you just slam on the brakes, see all the marbles and rocks fly out of it. Marco knows what I'm talking about.
Absolutely not the start of the race we wanted. Plenty of drama for sure, but we'd rather keep all the drivers on the track and provide some great entertainment for our viewers. But still, we have a nice battle for second and third place with Pinsker cruising very, very rapidly on Lopez. Pinsker moving left and right.
Pinsker doing his snakes on the straight. Doesn't really want to
go by.
He wants to go by, but you know, we've seen him do the snaking routine on the straight where he just doesn't want to go by, but he knows he has the speed to go for the win and chase down Ben Fuller. Looking down to the inside, he's got a car length on Lopez, going to chop off that nose right there, and into second place he goes. James J. Pinsker, last season's champion, looking for a win here at Monza at the Temple of Speed on Ben Fuller.
Lopez knows he isn't as fast as Pinsker, and there's no way he needs to battle and try to maintain P2, because if he can attack in his slipstream, he might have a chance to fend off any attack from Samborski, who started 8th and moved up 4 place in the opening lap, so he will be definitely pleased of making his way through the wreck with a completely unscraped car. And behind him, Joshua Stewart doing a great job. Started at the tail end of the top 10 in 10th place, and now up 5 spots.
Oh, and that's Gallus. He's off.
I think there was maybe too much curb. I think just too wide. Locked up the front brake. Battle for 8th place between Barato and Korn. They've been fighting for a long time, as Pincer now has to defend from Lopez. Even though Lopez, I don't think he is actually actively trying to pass. He's just having so much momentum in the draft that he was just standing there as we have the pass.
This is an attempt to pass down the inside. The Leighton House 14 of Adam Kahn makes himself up into 8th place after a great move down to the inside, but here comes Benjamin Barreto. He's looking around the outside, just like Fernando Alonso did, swings it around the outside, hard onto the brakes, heading into the second chicane, down the inside, Barreto back into 8th.
Yeah, these drivers need to decide what to do, to be fair, Austin, because they probably have the speed to keep up with Povedani in front in 7th, but if they keep battling, they will lose the draft and lose him completely and have no chance to come back to him. But if they work together, I think there's still a chance to catch up with the Spanish driver, as we have our weekly check on Samborski, always happy and enjoying himself here in the beautiful park of Monza.
Yeah, I think Samborski's going to be very happy about today. Up 4 spots and, well, a lot of carnage to go with it. And, hey, he's got a good opportunity to get onto the podium.
His lap times are very, very similar to Esposito, but the race is still very long. We are only at the start of the 8th lap of 23, so barely 1/3 into the race. And even though this is not a very challenging track for the tires, I think especially out of the slow corners, drivers will start to struggle towards the end, putting the traction now. So expect some drivers maybe losing some pace towards the end of the stint, as the gap keeps maintaining between Pincer and Lopez. And here we are back for the battle between Barato and Con, 8th place. And there in the background instead is John Owens. Hasn't really closed much since the two starting battling together. Just enjoying 10th place and hoping to get 2 freebies.
Hey, it's always possible here, and, you know, lap 1 is, it's always the most stressful part of the race. And I gotta say, if I was Owens right now, I would just breathe. I'm up 4 spots. I'm sitting in the top 10 right now, and anything can happen in front of me. So I'm just gonna be enjoying and eating this popcorn. This is a great fight we got ahead of us.
Absolutely, and maintaining your tires for the end of the race might also play into his favor, as we look at the gap between Lopez and Samborski. Sometimes gaining, sometimes losing. In the end, the gap keeps maintaining around 2 seconds. Very similar lap times for both drivers. As Barato defends the inside here, but he will concede now the inside to Con entering the second chicane. Let's see if a late break for Con will give him the inside. Yes, he does. Gets the apex in the left hand, and Barato goes around.
Barato around he goes, got onto the curb off the exit, and that promotes Owens into 9th place, and that is so unfortunate for Benjamin Barato. Like we always say, week in and week out, get onto the curb and you just put yourself a little bit too, actually, no, yeah, it's just too much mustard coming out of that corner. And, well, big spin, avoided the wall, kept the engine running, unlike Dan Ticktum, and, well, continues on in 10th place.
Unfortunately, because he let Con have the inside, gave him plenty of room, trying to switch back coming out of the chicane, but unfortunately that set him up for a mistake. And although he didn't lose many positions, because he only lost actually 1, he is now 10 seconds behind Con, so he will have to hope in someone's misfortunes, as he will now also this is a corner instead. I got almost tricked here by the same livery, same team. Cornu making the pass on Maximilian Bui, a new driver for the broadcast race, if I'm correct.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen Bui. Yeah, first time I've seen him today. And Bui's looking down the inside, and he had the run, but he just decided not to. I feel like he just. Oh wait, that's a engine cover missing for Cornu. Cornu doesn't have an engine cover.
Oh yes, a modified version of the 3.5. That's why he's lacking maybe some straight line speed. But I think his car is still working alright, because yes, Bui had a run, but I think that's not indifferent from any other car on the track. So quite interesting to see that without engine cover, the car still works quite well.
Yeah, the car's working well. I'm surprised to see him not make this move. Now we got a replay of Ben Fuller. I think this is everyone just going off track in Lesmo too. If we just watch the gearbox, yep, that's off track, and then everyone else I think followed suit. Yep, they all followed suit right there.
You know, your 17 incident points before you get a drive-through.
Yeah, you can donate some SR.
You know that this is the big race of the week. If you lose some safety rating, these drivers definitely can make it up in the next few races during the week. So definitely trying to give everything they got. As also Team Dry is back on track, 2 laps down. Looking to get some positions if anyone has some problems. Lap 11 of 23 here at Monza. A very eventful start, then the situation calmed down. Now drivers are trying just to settle in and think about something to make up some positions, like I think Samborski looking to get a podium from Lopez, although the gap is now opened to 2.5 of a second, so instead of closing down, it's opened just a little, but still plenty of laps to go.
Yeah, plenty of laps to go, just passing halfway through the race right now. Ben Fuller, new fastest lap of the race, 1:36.753, 1:36.886, and a 1:37.077 for our top three. And, well, times are just going up and up and up, so everybody is just falling into their groove, and rightfully so. Ben Fuller at the front. We thought he didn't have the speed at the start, but I feel like he was still having a little bit of nerves in turn 1. Like there might have been a brake issue messing with him. It's 36 degrees on track right now, 29 degrees in the air, 57% humidity on this cloudy day here in lovely Monza, Italy. 10-kilometer wind going about northeast.
Definitely giving some trouble, not much to the drivers, but especially when you are coming to such a hard braking zone. If you have,
I think I now know why there was a little bit of a problem heading into turn 1. They had a tailwind going into there.
Yeah, and if you have a tailwind, it's definitely gonna affect your braking points with such a sensible aerodynamics on this car, and it's very, very difficult, especially with cold brakes, cold tires. The drivers, although they are the best of the business when it comes to this particular car, everyone can get caught in a moment and make a mistake there.
Indeed, you definitely do not want to be caught in that moment when it comes for you. Ben Fuller leading by 2 seconds, and well, really can't do much wrong here. James Penske probably wants him to have a little bit of wrong, as Penske wants to defend that championship, but Ben Fuller just wants to run away with it. Current championship leader, and Robert Charlton is not here to fight it for it.
Or weeks are to be dropped at the end of the season, so you are allowed to miss some rounds throughout the season. As we look at Obrushlak, he had to come down pit road in the opening laps to get the car fixed.
Little bit of an off-track excursion right here. Ooh. Ooh.
He did a good job. Not even an incident point there. He managed to keep the car straight, although he almost went around.
Almost went around. Good save on the lockup excursion. But yeah, really lit up those tires. And you can see drivers in the background of Samborski and Exposito, both of them going very off track in the score, using all the track, and well, trying to catch up to the pack ahead of them.
In the meantime, Austin, let me give a shout out to one of our lovely partners here on Apex Racing TV, SDK Gaming, since provides this beautiful Formula 3.5 overlay to all our customers. Virtual live HUD to iRacing, timing towers, enhanced relative boxes, minimaps, fuel calculators, everything you might need for your iRacing streams, or just to have everything under control when you're racing. Broadcast your league series, anything you might need, you will find it on SDK Gaming. For 14 days you also get a free trial, so if you want just to try it out, see how it works, just download it. For new customer, 14-day trial, then it's a subscription based service, but I bet that you won't regret it. Once you try it, you can't get away with it.
You seriously cannot get away with it. I tried other apps, racing with other apps, apart from SDK in the past week. Actually, in the past month, I've been trying out all the apps on iRacing. Out of all of them, SDK tops them all tenfold. It just offers so much more information, timing-wise, and it's the most accurate timing on there, especially when it comes to fuel.
Absolutely. And you don't have to excuse anymore to say, oh, but it's hard on my CPU. Now it's even lighter. Pascal did a great job in the last update. It's absolutely light and doesn't affect your performance on iRacing CPU-wise anymore.
And GPU-wise.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was using it when I was running in the Indy 500. I knew exactly when I needed to go into the pits and exactly how long I had in the fuel tank. It's so good for endurance series. Now, it doesn't help from any bad eggs in the lobby who think the pit lane everybody's invisible in. No.
That unfortunately happens quite a lot. And if it happens on open wheelers, then it's trouble. When it's NASCAR, still you can get away.
In the 500, it was totally trouble, so hopefully I do not see that when I go up into Indy and try to forget this year.
Hope you enjoy your trip next week, Austin. You will be missed here in the commentary booth. Probably I'll be on my own because Marco will be probably, hopefully for him, celebrating on the 29th. But let's focus now on this battle for third place, because Samborski is still not closing down, but it's not over. Lap 15 or 23. We've seen multiple drivers making small mistakes, Austin, so far. Lopez has been driving brilliantly so far. Got a nice start and drove carefully around traffic and let also James by earlier without losing valuable time. So he's doing a very good race. I would be really, really happy for him if he can get a first podium, I think, in the series.
Yeah, I believe he's been on the podium once before, about 2-3 seasons ago. Just before it was before you hopped in the booth with us. But yeah, Lopez, I think, has had a podium, but he's been on a very long drought in this series, and it's going to be very nice for the current motorsport team to see one of their cars back up onto the podium spot. And Ever Samborski doesn't look like he's even trying to get into that draft of Lopez, as he's just pulling away from him.
See, loving this racetrack, I think, Esposito. Getting
he's definitely loving it. He's definitely loving it.
Oh yeah, you can see he's doing a very good job. But also plenty of other drivers that we haven't seen so much during the season. Drivers that maybe also making their debut here in Italy with a very solid finish. Thankfully for them, for also some misfortunes of other drivers earlier on. But a driver like Lager or Bui making a decent start in 11th or 13th place already, showing plenty of speed.
And this is Esposito.
Yes, he started in 6th place. behind Paul, so he was in the perfect spot. Unfortunately for Paul, he was the driver who started all the mayhem in turn 1, and look at that, clean road ahead. Ben Fuller, you will see in a bit, pulling on the side, serving his slowdown. Pinster with his fellow friend at the back, trying to get rid of the slowdown and also of the corner marker. A very, very interesting start that we won't forget for a long time, I guess.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be up there in our yearly highlights video if we can torture Dane enough to actually get that one going again. But yeah, that's that start is going into the history books of stuff you should avoid. Even though, from what I know, nobody knows what happened with everyone's brakes. Paul Ilbricht's not the only one that said his brakes weren't working. I got a message from Tom Wedgwood said it felt like someone was pushing his car and he couldn't slow down. And I feel like that might be because of the tailwind.
Yeah, I think that plays a big role in that turn 1 as Rob Boer has a moment. And,
oh no, in a story.
He's another victim of this treacherous corner where was already multiple laps down after the opening lap, and now will end the day earlier than expected as Ben Fuller sets the new fastest lap of the race with a 1:36.55. 3 seconds on Pinsker, 6 seconds on Lopez, so 3 seconds between all the drivers, and then almost 3 seconds now the gap also between Lopez and Samborski in that interesting battle for third place. I think the only real close battle we have so far is between Barato and Povedano in 9th and 10th place. The Spanish driver lost the position in the previous lap. I think he made a small mistake because his lap time was 4 seconds lower than usual. Let's see from this replay. He has some front wing damage. I think he might have had an off.
Oh, that was a little feisty right there through Parabolica. But yeah, there is front right wing damage for Vedado.
There's a decent margin on other drivers now, but still costly mistake as we have a replay for John Owens. Going very wide, taking the long lap penalty. I really miss the gravel there, Austin. Having all these runoff area really is not well for me. Too easy.
It is a little bit easy. Hashtag bring back gravel. Hashtag let's bring back broken fingers from stones.
As we are still looking here at Exposito. In third place, lap 19 of 23. Time to give another shout out to one of our sponsors. This time you can see there on the top right Apex Racing Academy, where you can find also data pack for the Formula Renault 3.5 from our own Peter Berryman. 29 data packs, setups, track guides, weekly group coaching sections, which are actually right now, if you look on our Apex Racing social media, are on a discount. So if you want to try them, make sure to give them a look. And much more, go check it out on our website, apexracingac.com.
A little feisty in the brakes for 11th right here between Lager and Cornu.
Yeah, Lager in 11th place is doing a very good job, but unfortunately for him, Cornu is coming very fast from the rear of the field. Cornu's been quite unfortunate in the opening lap, lost a lot of time, but he has shown plenty of speed already this season. He had some solid rounds. Some rounds he's been very unlucky, but even though today he had his own fair share of trouble, he might still be able to be around the top 10 in the end. So a
He
solid
is
day.
buried in that turn.
I think he might have a chance to make the pass here.
Both of them taking the longest opportunity to go onto the outside. And now here comes Cornu down the inside. And he's made that move quickly. And now they're having a little bit of fight on who's going to have that position back heading into the braking zone of turn 1.
Lager in 12th place is safe right now, doesn't have to worry about anyone else behind who is 6 seconds. The race might not be over because we can try to get the pass back on Cornu, but at the same time, look at who's in front there, 7 seconds ahead, with Povedano with a broken front wing. Yes, it's only 4 laps, the gap is 7 seconds.
Last lap.
Povedano is 4
last
seconds
lap.
lower.
Yeah. His last lap for Povedano was a 1:41.2. Dennis Cornu's last lap, 1:38.0. That's 3 seconds. You can definitely close that within 4 laps. 2 laps.
Absolutely. Look, Povedano trying to get everything he can out of the car as we have, I think, a pass for position, although the drivers are 1 lap down. Oh boy, careful boys.
No. There's a bit of carbon fiber left out there, and I think not if you have it.
Yeah, both drivers, I think, were...
Oh, that's a send up the inside. Theodore Burns. Oh. That's Theodore is in the... Theodore, yeah, I assume would be the innocent party in this situation. That was a very aggressive send down the inside.
Yeah, absolutely, and considering the drivers are also a lap down, that wasn't really, in my opinion, necessary. But hey, it's always a fight for position, so you always try to get the best out of any opportunity. But there's plenty of passing opportunities. You don't have to risk it that way. It's already been a tough day for both of them. It's a pity that they were involved in another incident on lap 20, as we are now in lap 22 or 23, and Povedano almost meets the gravel here, exiting this very difficult corner. But look at the gap now.
Yeah, that gap is closing down and down and down into a ring of fire right now, and that fire is burning in Cornu's soul as he wants that top 10.
I think Cornu knows that it's just a matter of time of when he will pick Povedano in the towards the second straight, as Barato, I think, just made a pass on Owens for 8th place. I think Owens might have made a small mistake. And oh boy.
That is down. That is a big look, but Cornu, 10th place, but breaks into the contact. Oh,
That
yeah, this
was
is a very aggressive track rejoin for Cornu. Instead of going through the escape road, went back onto the grass. One has grass on the tires, but looking back for another attempt to make that move for 10th place, but gets covered off by Povedano, but Povedano completely skips past the track right now, looking like Lewis Hamilton whenever he races at Mexico.
You need to be careful because Povedano is trying to make it very difficult for everyone to pass, although his car is completely undrivable. Lager definitely has a chance here to make the pass, but needs to be careful because the Spanish driver is really driving like this is his last drive of his life to defend that 11th position. And he's doing an amazing job.
Last lap, white flag in the air, but Fofodano might be risking 12th place now.
13th if he loses even more time, because considering he's 3 seconds per lap slower, Galis in 13th place is not far.
He's stuck on that outside line. Down low. Did they touch? They touch right there. Oh my goodness, guys. Come on, Dallas. The last lap.
You know, you give and take. I think that Lovely Sidor was deservedly given back from Lager to Povedano, because that was completely unnecessary, considering Povedano top speed is very low, as Ben Fuller is about to finish his race. We haven't talked much about him even this time, Austin.
Yeah, haven't talked about Ben Fuller except for when he came across the line and how he avoided all that. Well, Mr. Fast Hands, Ben Fuller is going to take the win here at Monza, followed by James J. Pincer and Jorge Lopez Exposito.
Very good podium for Jorge, as Povedano is trying to limp his car back home. I think he might have the best out of Daniel Galis. Is still 3 seconds behind, so I don't think the German driver will be able to make up a spot, but Povedano
strikes again.
Yeah, let's see. Needs to be calm. He doesn't have to push too much, you know. The gap is quite big, and indeed, I think Povedano will have his 12th position. But it was quite an eventful race, and a very aggressive maneuver, defending for 10th and 11th place, I must say. But obviously, you always try your best as much as you can, but with such a damaged car and damaged wing, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, the car was just absolutely in pieces, but he managed to drag that car across the line in 12th place. Now there was, oh my goodness, that's a buzz. But I feel like he's not a bit happy about a little bit of contact.
He was definitely not happy, but I think also people should be careful if they want to protect their wrists to not park the car immediately after the start-finish line. I always do that, and if I get hit, it's my own fault too.
To be fair, he was on the inside all the way down the straight, but you know, we're not Nim. Nim could decide that if that gets protested.
Yeah, he's
but
the
Ben
only
Fuller
one.
Takes the win in a very excited way, followed by James J. Pacer and Jorge Lopez Exposito with a oh boy in the chat. He gets back onto the podium, followed by Edward Samborski, Josh Stewart, Jamie Byrne, Adam Kahn, Benjamin Barreto, John Owens, Dennis Cornu, Craig Lager, Andrea Povedano, Daniel Gauss, Maximilian Boy, Theodore Burns, Jakob Orbslak, Rob Bohr, Tim Delisle, and not the greatest return in the world. We'll try to see him next week, followed by Paul Ilbrick and Tom Wedgwood, who I believe will be yelling at their brakes or something.
Yeah, a very different emotion between some of the drivers in this standing. Definitely some drivers having good day, others instead not even made it to the second corner of this very interesting racetrack. Some drivers love it, some drivers like me totally despise Monza, but you know, if it's in the calendar you have to race. Thankfully you have the 4 drop weeks.
Yeah, thankfully you have 4 drop weeks, but I know a driver who is definitely not going to be taking this as a drop week, and he's back onto the podium for the first time in, I don't know, in about a few seasons, it feels like. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jorge Lopez Exposito. You dropped the oh boy about that, but you had the greatest start out of everybody in the grid.
Hello, good night, everyone. Yes. I made an error in my second quali lap, and I think without this, I could have started on the 4th maybe, but then maybe I could have been taken out by Paul. So glad to make this error. About the start, just brake early. I saw Paul blocking their brakes and then going through the first corner. And my surprise was when going second behind time to see him going right in Ascari, and then I thought, well, what the fuck, I am leading. And then just I had a good pace, but not the Ben pace or even the James pace, and just waited them to overtake me and tried to get into the draft and avoid Edward to get into my draft.
Well, it's back onto the podium in the iRacing Formula 3.5 broadcast series. It feels like we haven't talked in a long time. We had a little bit of drought, but hey, drought's got to end sometimes.
Yes. I think my last and maybe my only podium was on Indy, maybe out of 2019. I don't remember it clearly.
It certainly feels like that at Interlagos, I believe, if my memory serves me right. But you had an amazing race here today. Great to see you back on the podium. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
No, just my little kid. My little kid is my Logitech G27 that has finished now his last race.
Ooh.
What are you planning to get, or did you already buy?
I have a new TSPC with both rigs, the Ferrari and the Formula wheel. We'll try to make some good races like these 10 years with this Logitech one.
All right. Well, hey, when you can make that stuff last a long time, you know you're in for a good bang for your buck, and you certainly got your bang for your buck here today. Congrats on the podium, man. You have yourself a good night, as Alessandro is standing by with James.
Indeed, let's bring James up here. James, how are you doing? Second place. That was maybe not a very exciting race after the opening laps, but that start, man, that was quite chaotic.
Well, yeah, well, turn 1 in this is always wild. I think I don't know how many of these Monza races I've done, maybe 4 or 5 or 6, and every single time there's 10 cars facing the wrong way in that first corner. So I'm also racing on a 16:9, just a single monitor. So I didn't know what was going on. Like, I can watch the replay now and be like, oh, maybe I could have got through that. But for all I know, there could have been 8 cars upside down spinning towards my head. So I just went, screw it, I'm going to gun it up the escape road. Got a 5-second slowdown, which dropped me a few places, but it was worth it in the end. I got through cleanly.
Yeah. You also picked up some signage as well.
Oh yeah, I did, and I carried that around for a bit.
Did you notice that? Was it affecting your car at all? Usually it does.
Yeah, sometimes I'd notice, like, there used to be a thing where you could get a cone stuck under your car if you had like a Porsche GTE, and that could like slow you down like 3 seconds a lap sometimes, so that was fun. But yeah, I didn't notice it until I saw it braking for the chicane. I saw it in my mirror and I was like, oh, that was fun. But yeah, it didn't affect my car, didn't give me any damage, which I guess was well enough, because then from there it was just pretty smooth running, and I felt like I drove pretty well. A lot better than I did last week, put it that way.
Yeah, apart from the eventful opening lap, then the race was kinda clean, not much happening apart from the pass for second place, but Jorge was knew that he hadn't the pace to keep up and wanted to keep third place, so he decided just to let you go without any fight. That was a very smart move.
Yeah, and yeah, he did a good race. Don't see him up on the podium very often, so yeah, fair enough to Jorge. And he's also led more laps than me now in this season, which is a bit sad. I've 1 lap and I've led 0, so let's try and fix that. And I mean, wait, when is it Spa? Is it Spa next week?
Indeed.
It is. Okay, let's try I'd fix it next week. Next week, lead every lap. Let's go.
You got 2 more weeks, so make sure to get the most out of them.
Well, I'm sure you saw last season at Spa, I led a couple of laps, so let's try and do that again, I suppose.
Absolutely, we'll be rooting also for you because we want to see that Jordan back in victory. It doesn't happen a lot, but whenever it happens, we are always very delighted because you always put a lot of effort and a lot of dedication into this series. So we're really happy.
Thanks. Yeah, for what like 50? I think it's like 58 races now. Maybe I did on this, something like that. Like around 60 races and 3 wins. So yeah, they come up occasionally. Let's just savor them when they do happen. And today, I think I was quite close. I mean, we saw Turn 1, Ben Fuller's car was stupidly close to getting hit by Paul, who blocked the rears into Turn 1. So if I got a little bit more lucky with that, then obviously you see maybe it goes the other way. But it wouldn't. I mean, if I had ended up winning this race, it wouldn't have felt like a good win because I'd have inherited it from the bad luck of Tim and Ben. But yeah, second, good race, nice and clean. Our commiserations to Tim as well. For he comes back after 2 seasons, puts it on pole, everything's going brilliantly, and then he has that issue with his game. So sorry about that.
Anyone you would like to thank, James, before we let you
go? Thanks Apex Racing TV for providing the broadcast. Thanks Jorge and Edward, gave pretty clean racing. Just didn't want to defend too hard. And congrats to Ben for winning again. What's that, his 7th win of the season? Something like that, probably. So yeah, fair enough on that. And see you next week.
Indeed. Have a great weekend and catch you next week in 7 days' time.
Cheers.
Let's bring in also our race winner, Osti. We let him wait this time. We kept him for last.
Well, we kept him for last because he's probably still trying to calm down after having probably the fastest hands off the line when he saw a blood red car, Paul Ilbrand, coming straight for him. And, well, we can watch his onboard again, just avoid turning into that red number 5. Ben, walk us through that race and, well, that turn 1.
Oh man, where do I start, guys? Super happy with that one. Just to come into the week, I knew that Monza was going to be my worst track of the calendar. It was really eyeing this one to put in some good practice and really get used to the medium downforce package. It's been one of my weakest areas for sure. I put in some good work. I felt like we were making some good gains on the setup. I had some good pace, and then yesterday I noticed that my my USB cable on the Husingveld Sprints was broken, so I was without pedals for the weekend, and I thought my weekend was done. Went searching and found my old CSL Elites, so drove with that. The brake is pretty fine, honestly, pretty impressed with that, but the throttle, I mean, it's 15% dead zones on either side and super uncomfortable, but I still wanted to race. I wanted to come out and try to do my best. I was pretty happy with qualifying. I'm really happy to see Tim back. I hope he comes back in the future. I thought I got a decent bit out of the car. I'm just not there on medium downforce yet, but still working on it. Got a decent jump off the line, but noticing with the massive dead zones on the throttle, I can't do the cheater start basically, so I had to resort to the old style brake and throttle. Fortunately, the top 3 all did that, so we didn't have any some massive pileups into turn 1 until we got down to turn 1, and I had a red car coming into my side pod, so jumped out of the way and was happy to avoid that incident just barely. I mean, that could have been massive, like all 3-4 of us taken out right in turn 1. It's tough for Paul. I've made mistakes down in turn 1. I made a mistake last season, so it's easy to do, especially when the pack is so close there. And then just a real shame for Tim. I really would have liked to see what his pace was like, but I don't know. I think he had computer crashes or something. I'm not sure, but just started to play with the gaps. Maintain a decent gap back to try to pull Jorge at the time through. but you know, he was lacking a little bit of pace, and James was starting to catch up. So I started to put on the pace and try to build up the gap, and really happy with how I drove. I don't think I got massive pace out of the car, but the consistency was absolutely there, and didn't put a foot wrong. So I'm very, very happy with that.
It definitely is the best way to feel. You're finishing at the top of the podium, heading into 2 weeks to go with a decent size of the championship lead. Next week is Spa, but also next week is the Indy 500. But you are a resident in Indiana, so are we going to be seeing you next week?
No, I'll be here. I mean, these races on Saturday. I'm not going to go to the race anyways, but it's not going to be an issue. I'll be here. Spa is very tough in this car as well. It's probably my second worst track. It's another medium downforce track, and you know, I'm just going to need to put in a lot of work. I think I can get my pedal fixed on Monday, so we should be back on regular form this coming week. Just going to try as hard as I can to try and find some pace on the medium downforce package, because these guys behind, man, they are right there if you put a foot wrong. I mean, James' pace today was very, very impressive. And I think Tim would have been up there as well if he was still with us in that pack. So, yeah, still going to need to put a lot of work in for sure.
All right. Well, it's another win for you, Ben. Before we let you go, anyone you wanted to thank?
Big thank you to TQE as always, man. Michael put in a lot of good work on the setup. Absolutely not setup limited. You know, it's just my skill level on MDF is just not up to par yet. But fortunately, it's all my fault. So that's always a good feeling to have.
All right. Well, thank you, Ben. Congrats on the win. Alessandro, any closing comments?
Not much to say, to be fair. Monza being Monza, very exciting start, and then obviously with this kind of downforce we are racing here, it's very difficult to make a pass unless you are really, really good out of the corner. Nevertheless, really looking forward for next week because Spa is gonna be fairly interesting. I expect maybe some drivers still to use medium downforce. What do you think, Austin?
You know, I really like the drivers using medium downforce. It's a big change of pace. The car's like a lot better in medium downforce than just having these giant air dams behind them. But you know, that's just my hot take on it. I loving how the cars are and drivers are really adapting to the car, and it's really feeling good to see what's about to come for this car in the future.
Indeed, absolutely. So make sure to come back in 7 days time, because after Monza, Spa is another tempo speed. We are set for a treat again.
Yeah, we're set for another treat. Unfortunately, I will not be here, as I'll be enjoying the wonders of Indianapolis.
100%. Whenever Austin is not around, it's gonna be a very good race.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us here for the iRacing Formula 3.5 Championship. I've been joined by Alessandro Dalladone with Marco Barbonero in the production booth. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.